What's going on, YouTube? It's Unger to the Max here. A salute to you. And it's an interesting day to be a hockey fan here in the state of Ohio. Let's start at the NHL level. First off, the Blue Jackets have been sitting around waiting for an opponent since Tuesday, when we finished off our sweep of the Tampa Bay Lightning at Nationwide Arena 7-3. So, yeah. And we're going to find out who our opponent is tonight, because the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Boston Bruins are playing Game 7 tonight at TD Garden. Now, the Bruins and Maple Leafs are not in the Metropolitan Division, but the Blue Jackets were the second wild card, so they ended up on the Atlantic side of the bracket. That's why they're going to play the winner of the Boston-Toronto series. Whereas the Islanders, who swept the Pittsburgh Penguins, are going to play the winner of the Washington-Carolina series. That series is also going to Game 7. There are 3 Game 7s. You got Vegas against San Jose. The winner of that series plays Colorado. Then you have Toronto-Boston. Winner of that series plays us. And then you have Carolina against Washington. Winner of that series plays the Islanders. But anyway, so tonight, the Monsters, who are the AHL affiliate of the Columbus Blue Jackets, will try to sweep the Syracuse Crunch, who are the AHL affiliates of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And what did the Blue Jackets do to the Tampa Bay Lightning? Oh, that's right. The Blue Jackets swept the Lightning. So wouldn't it be funny and coincidental at the same time if the Blue Jacket or if the Monsters swept the Syracuse Crunch? Just interesting. And here's something else. The division winners have sucked in the playoffs so far. Let me go through this. Okay, so first off, in the Atlantic Division, Tampa Bay. The Tampa Bay Lightning won that division. They won the President's Trophy. They set all these records for the regular season. They didn't even make it out of the first round because we swept them and got our first playoff series win in franchise history. Okay, next one. Calgary. They won the Pacific Division in the Western Conference. They had the best record in the Western Conference, so they would have had home ice. But the Colorado Avalanche, the second wild card. Oh yeah, the Blue Jackets were the second wild card. I forgot to mention that. But anyway, and it took a shootout against the New York Rangers. I hate the Rangers. On the second to last game of the season to get into the playoffs. But anyway, so the Avalanche were back to Colorado, which I had a Colorado Avalanche hat that I bought at Pepsi Center when I was in Denver. I didn't go to a Nuggets game or an Avalanche game, so I still have to get back out to Denver. But anyway, for some reason I can't find my Avalanche hat, and that's really disappointing to me because my favorite overall NHL team are the Columbus Blue Jackets, but my favorite Western Conference team is the Colorado Avalanche. And that's because when the Monsters first came into the AHL, American Hockey League, first off, they were called the Lake Erie Monsters, and secondly, they were the AHL affiliate of the Colorado Avalanche, not the Columbus Blue Jackets. So that's why I like the Colorado Avalanche. So, if both teams happen to get to the Stanley Cup Final, I think I would lean towards Columbus, but I would have a hard time with that. But I don't want to jump ahead yet. So anyway, so that's Tampa Bay and Calgary. Next up, Central, Nashville. They played the first wild card, the Dallas Stars. And last night, the Stars just eliminated them in 6. So that's 3 out of the 4 division winners that have been eliminated so far. The last division winner that the last and remaining division winner who could advance are unfortunately the defending Stanley Cup champions, the Washington Capitals. And they have Game 7 on their home ice. And last time they played at home, well, they shut out the Carolina Hurricanes 6-0. So I don't have a lot of confidence in Carolina. But anyway, so the other reason it's an interesting night to be a hockey fan in Ohio is because of Game 7 between Toronto and Boston. So Toronto had a chance to close out the series and move on to face us in the second round in Game 6 at, it's not called Air Canada Center anymore. Oh, it's called Scotiabank Arena. There we go. So the Maple Leafs, not the Maple Leaves, the Maple Leafs had a chance to close out the Bruins at Scotiabank Arena in Game 6 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada, in front of a sellout crowd and Maple Leaf, whatever you call it, outside of the arena. And they blew it. They lost to the Bruins 4-2, setting up Game 7 back in Boston at TD Garden in Boston, Massachusetts. So, and normally I don't root for the Maple Leafs. Normally I'm just like whatever about Toronto. Don't really like Boston. But tonight I am rooting for the Maple Leafs because I do not want to play the Boston Bruins. I want to play Toronto. Why? Because from what I've seen of the Maple Leafs during the regular season, they kind of play like the Tampa Bay Lightning. And, well, like I said, we swept Tampa Bay. So I think we would match up better with that, with Toronto. We struggled against Boston. Boston's one of those big physical teams. They've got Chara, they've got Bergeron, they've got Tuukka Rask, they've got Jake DeBrusk. I mean, I get that. I get that Toronto has, Austin Matthews and Mitch Marner and Nick Muzzin. I get that. And Patrick Marleau, former San Jose Shark. I get that. But I think we match up better with Toronto than we do with Boston. So, I'm rooting for the Maple Leafs tonight. But last year they had Game 7 in Boston and the Bruins won. So, I'm expecting the Bruins to win. And if and when we play the Bruins in the second round, I'm going to say, unfortunately, even though I'm a Blue Jackets fan, and I want to believe we can maybe go all the way and win the Cup, I don't think we can beat Boston. And I think we would lose that series in 6. No, I'm going to say it goes all 7 games again. So I'm unfortunately going to say Bruins in 7. But if we play the Maple Leafs, I think we match up better with them. And I'm going to say that if we play Toronto, then the Blue Jackets win that series in 6. Okay? So, then, for Carolina and Washington, the winner plays the Islanders. I think Washington against the Islanders would be a great series. Number 1, Barry Trotz, who is the Islanders head coach, was the head coach of the Capitals just last season. And what happened? The Capitals went on to win the Stanley Cup. Unfortunately, I hate the Washington Capitals. The 3 teams I hate the most in the Metropolitan Division are New York, the New York Rangers. I don't mind the Islanders. I kind of like them, actually. The Washington Capitals and the Pittsburgh Penguins. But of those 3 teams, I would say I respect the Pittsburgh Penguins the most. I would love to go to a Blue Jackets Penguins game, honestly. I went to a Browns Steelers game in Pittsburgh. I mean, I don't think Steelers fans view the Browns as a rival. At least not right now, because the Steelers kind of dominated. So, we'll see what the Browns do this season. Anyway, so, I'm going to say Washington wins Game 7, but they're going to lose to the Islanders in 6. I just think the Islanders are going to win that game and then are going to win that series. The Islanders could potentially win the Cup. I think so. Dallas and St. Louis. That's going to be a hell of a series. I see that going the full game, 7 games, and St. Louis winning a very close series. Colorado. Hang on. Vegas and San Jose. Who wins Game 7? It's back in San Jose at the Shark Tank. I'm going to say San Jose wins that game. They go on to play Colorado. And, I want to pick the Avalanche because, again, the Avalanche are my favorite Western Conference team. But I'm going to go with San Jose. So that would mean that San Jose would play St. Louis in the Western Conference Finals. And, I think Boston wins Game 7. And unfortunately, they beat us. So it'll be Boston and the Islanders in the Eastern Conference Finals. And your Stanley Cup Finals are going to be the Islanders and St. Louis. It might not be exactly what the NHL wants because, neither of them are big. Well, I shouldn't say that. You got New York on one side. I mean, it's not the Rangers, but still, you got New York and you got St. Louis. Kind of like the Pittsburgh and Nashville series. I mean, obviously, I bet you the NHL didn't want Ottawa to win Game 7 against Pittsburgh because Ottawa isn't a big city. Yes, it's the capital, but it's not really that marquee matchup. Pittsburgh and Nashville, that was a great series. Except for the 6-0 shutout in Game 5. But anyway, so that's just my brief hockey thoughts. I'm going to try and post some in-game footage from the Monsters game tonight. Hopefully we can complete the sweep and not have to go to a Game 4 on Thursday. But we'll see. So far I'm 0 for 2 with Monsters games this season. The first game they lost to Binghamton, I think it was, I want to say, it was like 3-2 or something. And where Binghamton came back in the last minute of the third period to win. And then the second game was against Charlotte, and the Checkers won in overtime 4-3. So, we'll see. But until next time, this is Unger to the Max signing off with a salute and go Monsters, and tonight only, go Leafs go. Please beat the Boston Bruins. I'd much rather play Toronto in the second round rather than Boston. But either way, Toronto, whoever wins, Toronto will have home ice advantage and Boston will have home ice advantage. At least I think so.